Yo, what's going on, guys? Going to be going over today's trade recap, what I ended up taking today, and unfortunately today I ended up getting my stop loss smacked. Overall though, it was a really good trade. Only thing, it's tragic. It was just a pure stop rate and then instant run to TP. So I'm going to go over that. I'm going to show you guys what I was thinking coming into the session and why I ended up taking the trade that I did. Cool. So coming into the overall higher time frame bias, now if we look like here, right, I have this low marked out here. Why is this significant? This is the entrance to a weekly gap, and if we look at the higher time frame bias of the 4 hour, we can see that we are completely disrespecting every single gap known to existence. Like, we're sprinting through gaps. I think we inversed a daily gap. Yeah, multiple daily gaps have been inversed. Also left relative equal lows on the higher, not relative equal lows, but a failure swing on the higher time frame to this unmitigated weekly fair value gap that we have below us here, being a weekly draw on liquidity as well, being a weekly low. So overall higher time frame wise, higher time frame, we were looking pretty bearish. But on the lower time frame, such as like the 15-minute and potentially the hourly, we were looking like we were starting to move a little bit more bullish here, but still, yeah. Just overall, more of a bearish bias, leaning bearish, to see what we would do. Obviously, if we reacted off these key levels and made a move higher, then obviously I wouldn't be able to ignore that bullish bias. We also had some pretty good DOLs on the SP 500 higher, DOLs on the Nasdaq higher, not really much, right? Next DOL on the Nasdaq is literally like 700 points away, right? It's pretty far away. So yeah, pretty simple stuff, and let's go into what market open ended up doing. Okay, so as you can see here, the New York AM session ends up opening, yeah, okay. New York AM session ends up opening higher here, into no really fair value gap at all. I wouldn't say this is a valid Judas play. If you took any Judas swing here, this is a bare minimum Judas. No trade within this range right here is valid at all. However, then we start to blitz through a 15-minute, I think, was it 15-minute? Yeah, we start blitzing through a 15-minute and a 30-minute, multiple 30 minutes, so two 30-minute for value gaps, and we're just trending lower here. So with this, I ended up marking up my new range and kind of see what we would do from there. So then we had this 5-minute for value gap, which we ended up opening here, hold on, right here. And at this point, this was now my condition, because we were in an area to go higher here if we wanted to, but overall I was definitely leaning more bearish, so I did want to see us react off this 5-minute to preferably send us lower, right? And if we drag out the range here, as you can see, that 5-minute is in the CE of this new range that we have made inside of this leg, right? So what we end up doing here is we end up manipulating into this 5-minute fair value gap, and then we end up forming an SMT, which was right here. I don't know why I have it marked all the way over here. We ended up forming an SMT right here inside of this 5-minute fair value gap, which is when I ended up getting my entry. And my entry on my trade was on this candle right here, which was the 1-minute candle right after we had a 3-minute inversion. So right here is my entry. As you can see, we rejected off of a 5-minute fair value gap, which is sponsored by the 4 hour above, sponsored by the narrative of this move and the higher time frame bias with alignment. Honestly, this trade is A+ in my opinion. I would take this over and over and over again, and these are like very similar to the setups that I've been banking on the past while. And my stop loss placement was right here. As you can see, it was just at the body of this bearish candle closure, because overall, realistically, I was kind of expecting a flush, especially with this 3-minute close that we ended up getting, which I think was like right here. Yeah, or was it? Hold on. Yeah. Wait, where is my entry? Hold on. Ah, yes. Okay, my entry was right here. So my entry was here, and then we got that beautiful 3-minute close. We left a great rejection wick inside of this 1-minute fair value gap. So at this point, I was literally just looking for this hourly unfilled that we had below us here, with this failure swing being the BE, which is a low inside of a 30-minute fair value gap. Right. So as we can see here, really clean setup. SMT inside of a key level, delivery off the higher time frame and lower time frame bias alignment, beautiful displacement on the 3-minute inversion, and like, look at this 3-minute close. Very, very, very nice. And I ended up getting stopped out by literally the tick, simply due to poor stop loss placement here, and then the trade ran straight to my take profit. Super unfortunate. Nothing you can do about that. One thing I could have done is had my stop loss obviously at the SMT high, which I would have been saved. I would have got edged, and then I would have been saved from. But the S&P 500 ended up putting in another SMT at this high for really no reason whatsoever. So overall, I'm not really too mad like at all about the stop loss placement. I wouldn't say this trade failed because of stop loss placement. Technically it did, but overall I've taken trades like this over and over and over again, and 9 times out of 10 we do not do anything silly like this. What I could have done is just had my stop loss literally at the SMT high and I would have been saved, but hey, it is what it is. Super unfortunate, can't be mad about it. That's how the win streak sadly comes to an end, with this really super unfortunate loss. Nothing you can really do about it. We can just move on to the next day. I forgot to upload a recap on Thursday, but on Thursday I ended up hitting take profit. If I can remember what trade it was, I'll just show it really quick. I'm not going to bother going over it, but Where was Thursday? Right here. I want to zoom in here. Where was it? I'm gonna remember it the second I see it. Hold on. Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, cool. So Thursday, I ended up taking this short right here, and we ended up putting in an SMT inside of another key level yet again, and I think it was a 5 minute this time. Please don't send me back. Okay, whatever. Miho. Okay. Yeah, it was another 5 minute gap, so literally like almost the exact same play as today. And this is my entry. My entry was literally just this 1 minute inversion right here, and I was targeting just targeting this low. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, just targeting this low. Pretty simple stuff. No break even. On this trade, just straight TP and delivered in a few candles. And we ended up making around $450 off that. And then today, off of this really unfortunate stop rate, I ended up losing $320. So definitely not bad. And yeah, that's it. And if you guys have any questions about this video, leave it in the comments below. If you guys ended up taking this trade and banking on it, or getting unfortunately stop rated like me, or if you took any other setup today like this long that we ended up getting presented with right after, which was also pretty good, pretty textbook long, I wouldn't have been a fan of any long here unless it was a continuation, just simply due to the higher time frame narrative of a bearish bias. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. If you have any questions for me personally, I'm going to have my Discord, Instagram, and TikTok in the bio of this video. You guys feel free to go check them out, drop me a follow, drop me a message, whatever you guys want to do, and I will 100% respond to any questions anybody has trading related. On this channel, I am documenting my entire journey to profitability, and I won't be stopping until I am profitable. This is just a reality to show people what it takes to actually become a profitable trader. No bullshit, no hiding losses, no hiding crash outs, no hiding bad mental, no hiding anything. So documenting everything on this for myself, and obviously for others to see as well in the future when I do end up making a lot of money off of trading. So yeah, except for that, I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your evening or night, and I will catch you guys in the next trade recap, which will be tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your evening and stay blessed. Peace out.